Hi, PaolaJo from SederQuilts, and this is going to be a quick tutorial on how to attach your binding ends. First of all, you need at least a hand's width on either end of the tails of this binding. This is bias binding, and the first end already is cut at a miter. Now you're going to just open this up and lay it flat. Don't pull it tight, just lay it nice and flat, overlap them, and we're going to make a little mark here where they actually meet up. Just get them all nice. Oh yeah, that'll be perfect right there. Now we're going to mark exactly where that other one ends. You can make the whole line and snip it with a scissor, or I like to mark just a little bit and then use my ruler so that I make sure I get that 45-degree angle perfectly with my rotary cutter. Yeah, that'll work just right. And then we're going to line those up, make sure that we get the excess quilt out of the way. Just put a few clippets in there. There we go. And then we're going to make sure that these tails of the binding are not twisted. We just want to line them up and clip that so that we can sew that easily without it twisting up on us. We'll take it over to the sewing machine, lift our foot, get the thread out of the way, make sure the bulk of that clippet area is out of the way as well. And now we're just going to sew this little seam. It's just a matter of getting it lined up. Make sure you have some dog ears there so that it's going to be perfect. Take a couple stitches, match it up, yep, and then stitch it all the way through to the other edge of that V. Snip those threads, and then we're just going to finger press this open. There we go, and then take off the clippets, and when you pull it open, it's ta-da! It's perfect. It's magic every time. So now we're going to put some clippets back on there again to hold things in place. I put the first one in the middle there where the seam was, and then we put just a couple more if we need elsewhere, depending on how long it is. And then we're just going to stitch that same 1/4-inch seam like we had been before. Make sure you get the clippets out of the way. Now you'll notice I didn't leave any extra. I didn't leave any to accommodate the seam. They're just touched up to the end, and it works perfectly every time because this is bias binding. There's a little bit of stretch, and so by having 2 hands width of tails left, when you match this up and sew it together, it's the perfect amount of tightness. There's no extra to you can see it's just perfect every time. There's no excess to work in. It's just wonderful. Now you can either hand stitch it or you can machine stitch it. I love this little wiggle ditch. It's number 217. There it is on my machine, but you can adjust the width or the length to make it just the way you want it. But it fits in there so perfectly. With a 2.5-inch width of binding, you can have a nice little bit of space to stitch that machine stitching on there. It's beautiful every time. Here's another picture from another project, but oh, it just looks so cute, both from the front and from the back. There's just that little bit of space, so it's not on there. But oh, I hope you found this very helpful. See you later. Toodaloo.